Okay, people. So, bonus track is the new film and the feature directorial debut from Julia Jackman. It is written by Mike Gilbert from, it says an original story, right? An original story from Josh O'Connor. But, I mean, it's not really an original story. Like, it's a story we've seen before many a time. You know what I mean? The film is produced by Stephanie Aspin, Campbell Beaton, and Helen Simmons. It's executive produced by Michael Smith, Julia Stewart, Safitiri Widigadu, James Riley, Jan Pace, Josh O'Connor, Martha Kinn, Stephen Kelleher, Pietro Greppi, Sophie Green, Laura Grange, Caroline Cooper Charles. It's associate produced by Ahmed Adazadeh, and co-produced by Savannah Power. Chris Hyson handled the music, Jonas Malterson, cinematography, Jason Rayton is on editing duties. Casting was Claudia Blunt. Gregoria Lee Joseph was production design. Art direction is Sean Patel Gould. Lex Wood handled costume design. Hair and makeup, Regina Misen. Right, and our cast. Now, for so many frustrating reasons, all the details are not on IMDb, which is it's always just ridiculous when they do that. But Joe Anders is George Bobbin. His dad is played by Jack Davenport. That's Jeffrey. His mother, is Julia, I believe. Yes, who is played by Alison Sudol. Right, we've got his. I forget what teacher it is, but one of his teachers, the stage 7 teacher, played by Susan Wakama. We've got the camp. They go to camp, and the woman running that is played by Ellie Kendrick. The music teacher is played by Ray Pafaki. The head mistress is played by Nina Wadi. We got Toby, played by Josh Cowdery. Alan, played by Roger Evans. Jono, played by Josh O'Connor. Oh, god damn it, yes. Also, Max, right, who George bonds with, is played by Samuel Small. Who else do we have? We've got the journalist, played by Adam Darlington. Lara, the avant-garde, played by Jennifer Lane. Molly, played by Ellie McCloskey. Polly, played by Sierra Softwood. Mrs. Laughlin, played by Rebecca Oasis. Right, that's pretty much it. Now, the gist of the film: a 16-year-old who believes he is a future star musician, even when no one else in his small town does. The arrival of the son of a famous musical duo who helps him rehearse for a talent show leads both boys to learn from each other and grow closer. So that is the gist of this tale. So it's a teen romance comedy type of thing, right? Now sometimes you go to these screenings and you do wonder, am I out of tune? Right? What am I not getting? There's so many people in this screen just laughing their heads off. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't This one just, for whatever reason, it did not connect with me. You know? Like, it just felt like it wasn't, like, I think the kind of film that I like, and there's really good depictions of people at school dealing with stuff like Submarine. Love Submarine, right? There was a really good short film called From A to Q that I saw. I believe that was the 2020 Flair Festival. It may have been 2021. I feel it was 2020 though. But yeah, the Flair Festival, From A to Q, which handled two friends at school, right, just dealing with their feelings and all of that, and that was great, right? So I think I've seen it done certain ways, and they're the ways I like. So it's not necessarily say this is a bad way of doing it, because as I said, everyone liked it, right? But it just didn't really work for me, right? It just felt a little bit forced, just too, formulaic, by the numbers, right? The family, right? It's showing, a dad that's kind of, a stickler for routine, and the mum is all, you know, and right, but it's got them both kind of disagreeing all the time and that kind of thing, right? You just think, because it's his stepmom, but for whatever reason, and know we don't know how long they've been together, but George always refers to his mum as Julia, right? But you get the sense his mum and dad have been together for ages, and she's always, no, call me mum, right? So you just like, but we don't get an explanation for any of this. And so it's just, I kind of felt the dynamics were weird, right? It didn't really feel like they were a family. Right, when he's because we have him at the start, his parents take him to the open parents' evening. That's the one, right? And it's just one of those things, right, where they're like trying to work out what he could be good at and look at his progress, and it's just like he's not good at anything, which you kind of feel his parents probably would have known that, but at this point, right? They would have known that. It just seemed a bit weird, like they were just shocked, taken aback, like, huh? What? Oh, I can't believe. And it's just like, I mean, you're with him all the time. How would you not have known he's doing horrible in his lessons? Right? And then, it's just like, what do you want? And this is the thing, right? At 16, trying to know what you actually want to do. I mean, I didn't, right? I just had no clue. And the careers advice was terrible at our school. So it wasn't like there was anything to be like, oh, yeah, you could be, or any of that, right? But yeah, you don't know. But you have ideas of certain things. It's not to say that you will ever go on to do those things, but there's certain things you might think, like how many kids are like, I want to be a football player, I want to be a, a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, and he's just like, like there's nothing, right? We have the music teachers say that, he just keeps on playing the same chords over and over again each week. And you just think, okay, if he wants to be a musician, surely there's more to the song, right? It just seemed odd that, oh, that's the only thing he's playing over and over again, right? That he's not trying to work out other elements of that song, you know? It just, it just didn't really make any sense to me, right? So everyone supposedly thinks Molly is the bee's knees, as it were. All right, like literally every single kid. And you just think, okay, right? Now, there, you remember being at school and there was like the girls, everyone was like, oh, that girl's fit. But there was more than one, right? There was more than one. And there'd be people that'd be like, you know what? I kind of prefer Claire, right? Yeah, yeah, like Claire's more my style, or man, Tisha's really cool. I like T, but everyone's just like, oh, Molly, 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 right? And you're like, I don't know. And like the big thing, I think it's very evident, right? It's very, very evident that George and Max are gay. Right? It's not a shock, right? So it's just there's so many things going on and they're trying to play the story in a certain way, but it's just like, and here's the thing, if you're shy, right, maybe you're not very good at words. Now we're being told that he's got this huge love of music, he puts together mixtapes and just all of this. So if someone asks you a question, if you can't put it into words, you would use different reference points, right? So you could be like, I think this song says it is saying what I want to say. You're right. It's like when you love films or books, that is your reference, right? It's your guide to certain situations, and you might use those when talking. So it's very odd when we don't get that, right? We don't get that from George. It's just like, wait, what? And they throw these other situations out there, which are supposedly meant to be like, oh, is anyone picking up on this? This supposed, and it's just everything is obvious, right? You know how this film is ending, right? It's just, I don't know. Right? The journalists do not act like journalists. It's very, I just thought it was very odd. But here's the thing, right? I think it plays into the type of films like To All the Boys I Ever Loved Before, right? Photo Booth, um yeah, just those sort of films, right? Holiday, I throw that out there all the time, but it's just those films I thought are good barometers for this. Because as I said, for me, it's stuff like Submarine and From A to Q, but it's nothing like those. This is like the sex education generation. So I would say if those things, right, if those films work for you, then Bonus Track will, I imagine. It's framed around like 8 tracks, right? They're our kind of chapters throughout the film, and then there's a bonus track obviously at the end, which it's an odd title for this film. I don't know if bonus track really works. But anyway, people, if you missed it today at the View, you can watch it on Saturday the 7th at 4 p.m. at the Prince Charles Cinema. It's in the downstairs screen. Or Saturday the 14th of October at midday, 12 at the Curzon Soho. So they're your other opportunities to go get you some bonus track action, people. So yes, there you go.